In the world of heavy-duty trucking, there's an exclusive club that only the toughest diesel engines can join. It's not measured in horsepower or fuel efficiency alone, but in something far more important: durability. These are the engines that routinely clock 1 million miles before needing major overhauls. Today, we're counting down 7 of the most legendary million-mile engines ever to power America's highways. When Detroit Diesel introduced the Series 60 in 1987, they didn't just build an engine, they pioneered the future of diesel technology. The Series 60 was the first heavy-duty diesel engine with fully integrated electronic controls, featuring the groundbreaking Detroit Diesel Electronic Control System. Available in 11.1-litre, 12.7-litre and later a 14-litre displacement, the Series 60 initially prescribed overhaul intervals of 500,000 miles. But after gaining confidence in the design, Detroit raised that to 750,000 miles. In reality, properly maintained Series 60 engines routinely exceeded 1 million miles. The 12.7-litre version became the most popular, producing up to 515 horsepower and 1,650 pound-feet of torque. What made it special was its single overhead camshaft design, operating both valves and fuel injector plungers. Despite being smaller than competing Caterpillar and Cummins engines, the Series 60 could embarrass larger engines in uphill pulls while returning impressive fuel economy. Some owners reported achieving 9 to 10 miles per gallon. By 2008, Detroit Diesel had produced 1 million Series 60 engines. When Diesel Power magazine ranked the best diesel engines ever made, the Series 60 came in at number 2, right after Rudolf Diesel's original invention. Owners with 2 million miles on their Series 60 weren't uncommon, with minimal maintenance beyond regular oil changes. Production ended in 2011, replaced by the DD15, but the Series 60 remains one of the most revered engines in trucking history. From the mid-1970s through the 1980s, Cummins owned the road. By 1983, their market share had exploded to 63%, up from just 29% in 1975. The engine responsible for this dominance was the 855 Big Cam. Named after its 855 cubic inch displacement and unusually large 2.5-inch diameter camshaft, this 14-litre inline-six was built during the 1973 oil crisis, when fuel economy suddenly mattered more than raw power. Cummins engineered the Big Cam to operate at very low RPM, produce tremendous low-end torque, and return best-in-class fuel economy. The larger camshaft permitted shorter injection periods, resulting in more efficient combustion. Combined with top-stop unit injectors and the innovative demand-flow cooling system that only cooled the engine when necessary, the Big Cam became legendary for reliability. Owners discovered these cast-iron mills were rock-solid, reliable, million-mile contenders. Power ranged from 250 to 475 horsepower, depending on configuration. Through 6 generations, from the original Big Cam through the Big Cam 4, these engines could easily run 700,000 miles before major overhaul. With proper maintenance, including regular bearing rolls every 250,000 miles and valve adjustments, reaching 1 million miles was routine. The Big Cam's only real weakness was cold start performance due to its lower 2200 psi fuel injection pressure, easily solved with block heaters. Its mechanical simplicity made it a favorite among owner-operators who could maintain and repair it themselves. The Big Cam's basic design was so brilliant that it continued virtually unchanged into the N14, Cummins' next legendary engine. When Mack Trucks introduced the E7 in 1989, replacing the long-standing E6, they created an engine that would define reliability for over 2 decades. The E7 wasn't about flashy horsepower numbers or high RPM screaming. It was about pure, dependable work. This 12-litre inline-six diesel ranged from 250 to 454 horsepower, producing between 975 and 1,600 pound-feet of torque. But what set the E7 apart was its focus on power to the ground rather than peak flywheel horsepower. Optimized to run at up to 1,800 revolutions per minute, the E7 excelled at low-end pulling power, perfect for vocational applications like refuse trucks, fire engines, dump trucks, and public bus fleets. It wasn't uncommon for E7 engines to reach 1.5 million miles, hauling full loads without needing major overhauls. When the E7 morphed into the E-Tech engine later in its production to meet stricter emission standards, the reliability continued. These too proved to be million-mile contenders. After 1990, Mack engineers developed their patented Econovance variable injection timing system, greatly increasing fuel efficiency and cutting emissions. This water-cooled design helped the E7 survive the emissions regulations of the late 1990s and early 2000s, a testament to its fundamental engineering excellence. The E7 remained in production for more than 20 years, a remarkable achievement in an era of rapidly changing emissions requirements. For operators who valued reliability and durability over maximum speed, the Mack E7 was unbeatable. Introduced in the mid-1980s, the CAT 3406B earned its reputation as one of the most iconic diesel engines ever produced. This all-mechanical powerhouse became a workhorse in Class 8 trucks, construction equipment, and marine vessels. With 14.6 liters of displacement, the 3406B produced between 350 to 525 horsepower and up to 1,700 pound-feet of torque. Built from cast iron with direct fuel injection, this inline-six was designed for one purpose: longevity. The 3406B could routinely reach 1 million miles with proper maintenance. Owners reported engines with 1.3 million miles still running strong, never having the heads removed, only requiring regular bearing rolls and routine maintenance. The mechanical simplicity meant fewer electronic components to fail, making it a favorite among mechanics and owner-operators. The diesel's reputation was so strong that many operators preferred it over later electronic versions. Its mechanical fuel injection system was straightforward, reliable, and could be serviced anywhere. Parts remained widely available through robust aftermarket support. The main maintenance concern was the cooling system. Running the engine low on coolant could crack a head, a problem the engine was somewhat notorious for. Regular bearing rolls were recommended around 500,000 to 600,000 miles, but this preventive maintenance was a small price for an engine that could deliver multiple million-mile service lives. When operators discuss the greatest truck engines ever built, the 3406B invariably makes the conversation. When Cummins introduced the N14 in 1990 for the 1991 model year, they faced enormous pressure. This engine had to replace the legendary 855 Big Cam while meeting modern emission standards. Often called an 855 with electronics, the N14 succeeded brilliantly. The N14 retained the same 14-liter displacement, bore and stroke, wet cylinder liners, modular 4-valve cylinder heads, and even the same oil pan as the 855. The revolutionary difference was the integration of electronics through Cummins' Select Electronic Engine Control System, allowing the engine to meet emission standards while actually improving performance. Power ranged from 310 to 525 horsepower, with torque up to 1,850 pound-feet. Many Cummins engineers and countless truck owners consider the N14, particularly the Select Plus version released in 1996, the best all-around truck engine ever produced. The N14 consumed 20 to 30% less oil than the 855 and, kept in good repair, didn't require major overhaul until at least 500,000 miles. Common issues included injector wiring problems and occasional injector failures, but these were minor compared to the engine's legendary reliability. Production continued until 2002 when the N14 gave way to the IS-X. For old-school truckers looking for reliability, the N14, especially the Red-Top Select Plus, remains the gold standard. Beginning production in 1993, the Caterpillar 3406E marked CAT's transition from mechanical to electronic fuel injection. Many mechanics praise this engine as one of the best ever made, and for good reason. The E featured 14.6 litres of displacement with electronic unit injection, producing between 365 to 625 horsepower and up to 2,000 pound-feet of torque. This combination of mechanical reliability with electronic precision earned it the nickname the last of the best, before more complex emission systems arrived. Laboratory tests and engine disassembly analyses from Caterpillar indicated the 3406E engines were expected to have a B50 life of 1 million miles with recommended maintenance. Real-world performance exceeded expectations. One documented unit reached over 4 million miles through 3 overhauls at 750,000 miles, 1.7 million miles, and again after another 1.2 million miles. In each case, internal inspection showed the engine was in excellent condition. Trucks with E engines reaching 1.5 million miles without major rebuilds were common. Operators praised the engine's pulling power, particularly valuable when hauling heavy loads in mountainous terrain. The electronic controls provided real-time diagnostics while maintaining the fundamental mechanical durability CAT was famous for. The now legendary diesel's production ended in 1999, replaced by the C15, but its reputation for reliability ensured continued popularity. Even today, those engines remain highly sought after in the used truck market. And, well, taking the top spot is that Caterpillar C15, which took everything great about its predecessor and improved upon it. With 15.2 litres of displacement, the C15 produced between 435 to 625 horsepower and up to 2,050 pound-feet of torque. The single-turbo 6NZ version, built from July 1998 until June 2005, became the most sought-after variant, with 99,900 engines produced. The C15 addressed the old engine's oil leak problems with improved gaskets and seals, plus a new block design. Higher volume oil and water pumps provided better lubrication and cooling. The 4-bolt connecting rods added strength, while the single-piece steel pistons proved more durable than earlier 2-piece designs. Properly maintained, C15 engines regularly reached 800,000 to 1.2 million miles before needing major overhauls. Some exceptional examples reached 1.5 million miles. One operator reported over 900,000 miles on a C15 with only a cylinder head replacement and minimal maintenance. The C15 Assert versions, introduced in 2003, brought twin-turbo advanced combustion emissions reduction technology. The C15's versatility across trucking, construction, and agricultural applications, combined with million-mile durability, cements its position as the ultimate million-mile engine. Production continued until 2010 when CAT exited the on-highway market, but the C15 legacy endures.